This morning, we're kicking off our Back to School series with ways to save as Americans are pulling back on spending this year. Tariffs push up prices on some academic year staples. Our CBS Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady has your guide to cutting the cost of school supplies.
It's that time of year. From dorm decor to laptops to pencils and backpacks, families are feeling the back-to-school pinch. K-12 families are expected to spend $858 on average this year. 74% of consumers say they're shopping earlier because of tariffs, with an uptick in families hunting for sales and shopping at discount stores.
How is the mindset of the consumer as we are going into back-to-school shopping season?
We are seeing prices ticking up because of tariffs, because of inflation, and so people are worried about being able to afford the things they need for school.
Shopping and lifestyle expert Trey Baj says retailers are trying to lure shoppers with bargains.
So what are some of the deals that we're seeing here?
So at Target, we have 50-cent erasers, 35-cent notebooks, and they brought back their $5 backpacks from last year.
$5?
Isn't that cute?
It's not just Target. Walmart has scientific calculators starting at $10, school uniform polos for $4, and a lunch meal for under $2 a day. Office Depot has notebooks, crayons, and glue sticks starting at 50 cents. Staples has folders for 25 cents, pencils for 50 cents, and binders for $2. Don't forget to price compare even while you shop, especially for big-ticket items.
This is priced here at $269. When I scanned it on the Target app, it's $219. And they'll honor this price.
I mean, that's a savings of $50.
Yeah, that's huge.
While Target and Walmart will only price match from their own website, Office Depot, Staples, and Best Buy will price match competitors.
When it comes to electronics, especially since so much of them are imported, what's your advice?
It's really tough for electronics right now. I would look for sales, of course, and then also consider refurbished. A lot of retailers offer refurbished items that also come with a warranty, and that's a really good option if you're looking to save.
And what about store brand?
I love a store brand. So here's an example. We've got 24 pencils, name brand, $4.99. 24 pencils, store brand, 99 cents. It's an 80% savings.
This was always my favorite part of back to school shopping. So what are your tips for clothes?
Preserve some of your budget until after school starts. That way, when the kids go back and they see what everyone else is wearing, and they're going to come to you and ask you for those things, you've got a little budget.
For older kids, a life lesson about saving.
A really good way to manage your budget and manage their spending is to give them a gift card. So they will be much more careful spending their money versus your money.
And they learn those habits for the future.
Absolutely.
And for college kids, talk to roommates before move-in day to decide on shareables for common areas, including dishes, a coffee maker, and cleaning supplies. And many retailers, including Apple and IKEA, offer college student discounts.
For example, at Target, if you're a verified college student or if you're a teacher, you can get a 20% one-time discount.
A little planning to help you save all school year long.
Now remember, your savings should actually start before you hit the stores. Make sure to check your inventory at home so you're not spending money on something you already own. Also, check out Buy Nothing groups on social media for freebies and team up with other families to make some bulk purchases.
I used to love back to school shopping.
Yeah.
For myself when I was a kid, and then when you're taking your own kids. I thought it was so, getting new pencils and crayons.
New lunchbox.
New outfits.
New outfit.
I loved
the least
it.
identifiable thing you've ever done. No one can relate to this. No one likes back to school
No,
shopping.
not the parents maybe, but the kids
I
did.
loved it.
I loved it, except that
Oh,
when
the
my
kids
mom.
love it. Oh,
Yeah, the kids love
Oh,
it.
I thought you meant as a mom.
No,
I
no.
did.
Oh, no,
as a
she's
mom
talking
too.
about a mom.
But not when you. Oh, really? You like going back to school?
Yes.
shopping? Oh.
For myself and for
I hate it
them.
because every year I'm
I
like,
thought
I
it
know
was
we have
fun.
a ruler around here. Why am I buying another ruler?
Because it has a different color.
I like it as a
Exactly.
kid because you get all new stuff.
It has a
Except when
different
your mom
color.
is like, you're like, okay, Ma, I want the new Puma. You know, like with the.
That's why
beautiful
that
leather
advice
Pumas.
was so good. Set some of your clothing budget aside
That
for the
was-
start of the school year. Great advice.
She didn't do that because she was like, you're getting the JCPenney off-brand. And then, of course,
Now
every
Vlad
day at
needs
school.
therapy.
Say we need therapy, Vlad.
This morning's Money Watch looks at something parents have to think about each and every day, the rising cost of packing lunch for their child. That daily trip to the cafeteria also going to cost more this year. Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady is here with numbers you need to know. Kelly, this is a daily trial. Good morning to you.
I know. This is a tough one for parents going back to school. So new research from Deloitte shows that the cost of a packed lunch rose more than inflation over the last year. So the study looked at 4 different lunch options that parents could pack in a week, from a peanut butter and jelly sandwich to a healthier option like a salad kit. and assumed that one lunch a week would be bought at school. Now, Deloitte calculated the average daily cost of a brown bag lunch is currently $6.15. That's about 3% more expensive when compared to the start of the 2024 school year. And then you dig in deeper on what the study calls a classic lunch, which includes a PB&J sandwich and milk. It's seen an even steeper price hike. While the classic is still a relatively cheap option at less than $5, it runs 6% more than last year, and that's driven by the higher cost of items like jelly, apples, and those single-serve milk cartons. When asked what the reasonable cost for a packed lunch should be, $4.50 was the median answer from the parents surveyed, and all of the options in this study cost more than that. Still, 42% of parents surveyed said that their kids do bring in lunch, even if cafeteria food is cheaper or sometimes free. But parents, I'm sure you all know, right? They're concerned with quality, variety, and healthy eating.
The other thing is, it's 3% doesn't sound like much, but that's hundreds of dollars, and that's what you need in an emergency, right?
Exactly.
In your reserve.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You don't have it now.
Yeah, that puts it in great perspective. Thank you, Kelly. Always good to have you at the table.
We want to help parents who dread packing school lunches for their kids. I am among those parents. Our next guest is all about making the process stress-free. However, registered dietitian Megan McNamee is the co-author of Feeding Little's Lunches, a New York Times #1 bestseller. A lot of dread out there.
Say that part again.
#1 bestseller. Wow. The book offers simple and nutritious lunch ideas for kids of all ages. We're talking about meals like a chicken salad croissant, a granola bite snack box, and a twist on a kid favorite, chicken nugget sliders. McNamee is also the co-founder and CEO of Feeding Littles, a team of feeding and nutrition experts with millions of followers on social media, and she joins us now. It's so great to have you
Welcome.
here.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
You call this an inspo book, and it certainly is. Just flipping through it, you've got these beautiful, bright pictures, and I have ideas for lunches that I'll be making.
Awesome.
Inspo, not recipes.
Yes, not recipes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a big distinction. A lot of people assume we would write another cookbook, but
Yeah.
parents don't want a cookbook for lunch.
No,
They want ideas.
They want it to be simple and
Yes.
achievable because there is so much dread. Talk about the psychology of the dread. What is it?
I think it's just the mental load. It's one extra thing on your plate. You're already doing so much to get your kid out the door for school, and now you forgot that you also need to make them lunch. And it just feels overwhelming because you have these voices in your head telling you, it needs to be balanced, it needs to be healthy, it needs to be enough for them to eat, and it needs to be timely because you don't have any time. So I think it's just that extra thing that people just don't want to do. Our clients hate packing lunches. That's
Now,
what
where were you when my kids were growing up? Because it's one thing, well, no, I'm not going to say one thing, but it's something I didn't do well is I didn't get the food and the nutrition right. I was doing tater tots and fish sticks. I actually one day put a Twinkie in the bag.
Oh, you know what? We love Twinkies. That was the thing.
But that's not
loved Twinkies
something
growing
you
up,
would
too.
encourage because what you've done here, which I think is so genius, is that it's healthy, it looks good, and it's easy to do.
Yes. And you know what? Sometimes there's room for the Twinkie too.
Yeah.
So the point of this book is to help parents kind of have a framework around this so that they understand what to pack, and it doesn't have to be a sandwich every day. We all grew up, I think a
Yeah,
lot of us
you
grew
had
up with
to have
sandwiches, and it had to be an
yes.
entree, something really formal. So we have a formula that we use, and essentially it's a carbohydrate source, a protein, a fruit, a vegetable, and then something fun like dip, maybe a dessert, maybe some chips, something that kind of is exciting when they open up the box.
So we see that here. These
Yep.
are some examples of the Feeding Littles formula. You've got veggie wontons, rice cake sandwiches, chicken tender sliders that
Yeah.
Tony pointed out, and even a yogurt parfait.
Yeah, so the point of the yogurt parfait is a build your own option. So you can kind of your child can pile it together if they want, or if they're not into mixed foods yet, maybe they eat them all separately. So people kind of think they have to do, again, that kind of formal lunch, but we can have breakfast for lunch. That's okay.
But
That's
here's the
okay.
thing about packing lunches for kids, though. It's a kind of hope and pray situation.
Yeah.
You make it, you close the lid, it goes off in the little backpack,
Yes.
and then at the end of the day, you're like, well, let's see how we did.
And I will tell you, even if your kids are extremely adventurous, we've talked about our kids sometimes like things and sometimes don't, even the most adventurous kids don't always eat their lunch. And that is normal, that is okay. If you think about the school environment, the cafeteria is very overwhelming. And it doesn't mean that you did something wrong or you packed the wrong thing. Even my kids who loved their lunch didn't eat it because they didn't have time. And a lot of the time is because they're being sociable, right? They're having fun talking to their friends or they want to get out.
So does that mean if they didn't eat something on one day, you should go ahead and feel like you can put it back in there?
Yes, you can
Really?
try it again.
Okay.
You can
Doesn't
put it
mean
again.
it's forever.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
How do
so-
you handle picky eaters, though, Megan? Because I think, can you train kids early to like broccoli and string beans, all the stuff I hated that I now really like? if you encourage them and say, this really tastes good, can you do that? Or there really is something that they just don't like?
It takes kids sometimes 10, 15, 20 times seeing something to even eat it for the first time. So the thing that parents tend to do is they stop putting in variety in the lunch boxes because they're like, well, they're not going to eat it. They don't want it. And they forget that even just one piece of that broccoli is exposure to that broccoli.
Right.
And so even if you don't think they're going to eat it, I do this too. I'm like, oh, she doesn't really like this, but I'm going to just do one piece of it. It's not very overwhelming, and if it's wasted, they don't eat it, you're only wasting one piece of food, but they see it over and over, and it makes them more likely to eat it eventually.
So our challenge with our daughter, she is an adventurous eater. She will eat anything. She does love her vegetables, but there will be periods where one day she'll just not eat carrots. And Marion will say, but you love carrots. And she's like, I don't want carrots.
They don't like them right now.
What's going on there?
It's normal. That's like normal.
It's called normal.
Yeah, it's called normal. It's called kids. It's just normal ebb and flow.
I like that,
of how
Megan.
they
It's
eat.
called kids. Can I just say this? Your two kids, Hannah and Mia, are your favorite
They're
daughters.
here.
Are a walking, talking advertisement for you, because when I said, how does your mom do? They were singing your praises, how great you are. And I said, what makes her so great? And your one daughter has jazz said, variety. She gives us variety.
You guys like this food?
That is the secret, right? The variety.
Yeah, and a lot of people get overwhelmed by that. So they think variety has to be a brand new lunch every single day. It can just be alternating. You can literally just switch out the vegetable or the fruit maybe. If you have some favorites, it doesn't need to be like huge and grandiose, but just offering something a little bit different every day is going to allow your kid to be used to something different. So when they open the box, it's not as like, oh, this isn't the same thing I have all the time, and they don't eat it at all.
I'm assuming that's Dad with your kids.
Yes,
Okay,
it
good.
is. Yeah.
Good to see you guys. Welcome. What was the move that you get? What was that move?
Yes. No, they did it unsolicited. That's why I thought, okay, we're on to something here.
No.
It's great. It's great. Megan McNamee,
Bravo.
#1 bestseller. I can
Yes.
see why. Great information.
I love the
Thank you very
title.
much. I really
Don't you love the
appreciate it.
title, Tony?
Feeding Littles.
Yeah.
Feeding Littles lunches. It's on sale right now. A tricky subject today, the rise of artificial intelligence in classrooms. Advocates say it's going to be a helpful tool for kids and for teachers alike. Others say it discourages kids from thinking on their own, critically, that is. Nancy Chen spoke to teachers and a tech executive about what's next, including a new partnership that could launch a fresh chapter in education.
I put 2 books in there, and it puts it into a podcast. And it's literally 13 minutes of information about the Boston Tea Party.
Jerome Ong uses AI tools every week in his 5th grade Ridgewood, New Jersey classroom.
You have to find what works for your students.
Has it changed the way you approach teaching?
Absolutely. They're reading a book and ultimately listening to it at the same time. You know, so when I play the audio.
Have you ever heard of a party where, like, the main event was chucking something super valuable right into the water?
Ong says he teaches what AI is and where it falls short.
Like if you keep at it and say, no, you're wrong, eventually AI will say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. And doing that with your class can show you that AI isn't really as smart as you think it is.
It almost sounds like you're teaching AI literacy in all of this, too.
Right.
Artificial intelligence is top of mind in most fields, and many educators have been teaching themselves how to use it. But this summer, Microsoft, OpenAI, and Anthropic announced a first-of-its-kind plan to train hundreds of thousands of members of the American Federation of Teachers, or AFT, the nation's second-largest teachers union.
What really drew you to this partnership?
I think if we're going to make AI work for students, for kids, we need to listen to teachers.
Microsoft President Brad Smith.
It can, I think, change the way teachers work in ways that empower teachers, gives them more information, makes it easier in terms of preparing for classes, thinking about how to put together lesson plans.
In one recent survey, teachers reported saving an average of nearly 6 hours a week with AI. But critics cite cheating concerns and Microsoft's own research, which showed a self-reported decline in critical thinking skills when AI was not used responsibly.
We have a huge opportunity to learn from the last 15 years in, say, social media. None of us appreciated what could go wrong. Let's go into an AI era with our eyes wide open.
This is a way to get profits.
Former high school teacher and AFT member Lois Weiner says teachers would be better served by more support within schools than by an alliance with Silicon Valley.
There is so much drudgery in the job. But the answer to that is to improve the conditions of teachers' work.
Does this do that?
Absolutely not.
How would you respond to those who say that education should be left to the teachers and not to tech companies?
I think education must be left to teachers. Those of us in the tech sector need to provide the tools and empower the school boards and districts and teachers so they decide how to put those tools in practice.
Ong says if AI is already here,
Let's try to figure this out to help our kids continue to learn and grow.
This $23 million investment will go toward virtual and in-person trainings right here in New York City. The union's president said the connection between a teacher and their kids can never be replaced by new technologies, but if we learn how to set common sense guardrails, teaching and learning can be enhanced. It is remarkable how far we've come since ChatGPT launched back in late 2022, and now you have surveys showing as many as nearly 85% of teachers are using AI in some form in their classrooms.
I like the common sense guardrails.
Yeah, and teaching is hard, and if it can save them time, I'm all for it. I just hope the kids can, still learn to think.
Yeah,
Nancy,
absolutely.
thank you very much. Appreciate it. Jolene Kent got a lesson in how these new tools work and has an AI guidebook for moms, dads, and folks like me.
Yo, AI isn't coming. It's already here.
Parents are sounding off on artificial intelligence in the classroom.
I let my son play around on ChatGPT now, but only through me kind of guiding his experience.
AI in the elementary and middle school classroom, it's a no.
Like it or not, the presence of AI in schools is growing. A nationwide study shows 74% of school districts plan to train their teachers on AI this year. That's up from 48% last year and just 23% in 2023. And tech companies are lining up to fill this space. OpenAI recently announced a new ChatGPT for education. In July, Microsoft pledged $4 billion to bring its tools into classrooms. And Google says its AI tools are in use at thousands of school districts, including Chicago, Miami-Dade in Florida, and Philadelphia. Stephen Butchie is Google's director of education and gave me a lesson in their AI tools. In just 60 seconds, Google's Gemini gives classroom notes and study materials a life of their own.
It's taken my text and turned it into information. For example, what % of the Earth is land versus water, the average ocean depth.
Should we be worried about mistakes or oversight?
I've grounded this in the material that I've uploaded, so it's pulling from my class notes as opposed to just the general internet.
And it can even create quizzes to help students learn.
How about C?
C? Oh, close. It is A, and what is great is it's describing why that's the right answer and why that's the wrong answer. And so it's helping you not only just say, okay, this was right or wrong, but why was it right or wrong?
Students and parents can upload study materials to create mind maps for visual learners, AI chatbots that act as tutors, and AI-hosted podcasts made on demand.
We want to give you a powerful shortcut to, well, truly understanding foundational algebra.
This deep dive isn't just about memorizing rules.
Those are two AI
Yeah.
characters, so to speak, breaking down the stuff that we've uploaded from the classroom.
Exactly.
And you can even ask the AI hosts questions.
What is slope-intercept used for in real life?
That is an excellent question.
Think about something like a budget,
You could use YNMX plus B to predict how much money you'll have.
or when you'll reach a certain financial goal.
When you're uploading information like this, should parents worry that Google is using that information and selling it to advertisers or harvesting it in some way?
When students are logging in with their school accounts, we keep all this information private, secure, and confidential, so it's not being used for any of those purposes.
Nathan Holbert studies emerging educational techniques at the Teachers College at Columbia University. His main concern, AI will replace the social development that happens during traditional learning.
It's perceived as a tool that can do the thinking or creating for us, that it can replace our voice. We should be encouraging the children in our lives to really value that opportunity to struggle and wrestle with tough ideas.
For CBS Mornings, I'm Jolene Kent in New York.
Today we are talking about safety in school zones. The CBS News review found growing concerns about dangerous driving near schools in America. In fact, 1 in 3 public school officials say traffic near their buildings poses a threat to students. Scott McFarland explains the challenges that schools are up against as kids return to the class, and he meets one man who has made safety his life's mission.
For years, Tom Didone had one of the toughest jobs in town. He was the police investigator assigned to respond to deadly car crashes in Montgomery County, Maryland. On this winding road in 2008, a teen driver with a car full of young friends lost control.
Hit the tree, spun out of control, caught on fire.
And Didone got the call.
My everyday routine as the traffic safety advocate took over until I saw the blood in the back seat.
One of the passengers was Didone's 15-year-old son, Ryan. Ryan died at the hospital hours later. Tom Didone's life changed.
We built the skate park in memory for Ryan.
The crash has transformed him into one of America's most vocal and effective champions of driver safety, traveling to communities across the country.
I would say the potential for tragedy is higher today than it was in the past.
He's now issuing a warning about the vulnerability of this back-to-school period.
You argue that school zones are like a perfect storm.
Exactly. Well, you know, over the summer, people develop bad habits. Without the congestion around schools, people are driving faster, they're distracted. Then all of a sudden, school zones hit. You have more cars on the road, you have kids that could be crossing the street and being very unpredictable.
In fast-growing Spotsylvania County, Virginia, this school year, they're trying to crack down on school zone speeding.
We conducted a speed zone study in this exact area. We noticed that in a week, we had about 10,000 drivers speeding in this speed zone.
In 1 week?
In 1 week.
What does that tell you?
It tells me that we need to change the culture in this county.
With new cameras, they'll issue tickets to those going more than 10 miles above the speed limit. All 50 states now have programs to make school routes safer, and more than 17,000 schools have received government money for safety upgrades. But for Didone, his new life's work has miles to go.
What do you think Ryan would make of all that you've done in his name?
Well, I would hope he would be proud of me, that if he looked down and saw this, that he knew that his life meant something, and that I valued it and I tried to do the best I could with it.
Didone urges parents to talk to their young drivers not once, but consistently about the importance of safety. And obviously, it's not just up to parents of school kids or teenagers themselves, but everybody, he says, to be mindful of distraction and speeding as the buses resume duty now that schools are reopened, Tony.
It's a really good reminder for everybody. I know folks don't like traffic cams, but that's one area where you might need them. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.